Hi, May. So, did you get our wedding invitation in the mail yet? I have no clue where you live right now. I know you moved a few years ago, but you never told me your new address. I figured you'd probably set up a redirect thingy, so I just sent it to your old address. I figured you'd probably get it eventually. So, yeah. Did you get it yet?
Yeah, I got it. Seriously, though, why did you even bother sending it?
Well, duh! It's because I want you to come to my wedding. Why else would I send you an invitation?
Are you out of your mind, Erica? After everything you've done to me? You started hitting on my husband the day we got married, slept with him a few weeks later, and kept up an affair with him until I found out about it. I have zero interest in going to the wedding of my cheating husband and treacherous sister. You wasted your money on the postage stamp, Erica.
Aw, but you have to come. You have a huge role to play in the ceremony. You need to be there to watch the very moment Taylor and I share our vows. There's no way I'm gonna let you miss that.
So my role is to suffer humiliation at your hands, is it?
Don't worry about what your role is. Just make sure you come to the wedding, got it? Oh, maybe this little tidbit of information will change your mind. Taylor spent $100,000 on the wedding for me.
Seriously?
It must be a shock, I know. After all, he only spent $20,000 on your wedding. Compare those two numbers, May. Which one's bigger? Do you see now? He loves me way more than he ever loved you.
You really are clueless. I told him explicitly that I didn't want a fancy wedding. I just wanted a simple one where we could fully enjoy our time with friends and family. I actually talked him down to $20,000.
Yeah, right. You're just jealous I'm getting a better wedding than you. So, like I said, your attendance at the wedding is mandatory. There's no way I'm gonna miss the jealous look on your face when I walk down the aisle. And just so you know, even if you RSVP that you're not coming, we're preparing a seat for you anyway. Oh, I almost forgot. Since we're spending $100,000 on the wedding, the minimum gift amount is set at $5,000. So make sure you bring at least that. Got it?
Were you paying attention at all to this conversation? I said I'm not coming.
Were you paying attention? Your attendance is mandatory. I'm also hiring a special photographer to follow you around to make sure I get some good shots of your humiliation.
Hi there, May. This is Taylor's sister, Sarah. Sorry to contact you out of the blue like this. I know it's been a while. Hi, Sarah. Don't worry about it. I'm glad to hear from you. Wow, but it really has been a while, huh? What's it been? About 7 months since, well, you know. Yeah, I really can't tell you enough how sorry I am for what a total jerk my brother was to you. You deserved way better than that. Don't worry about it. It's nothing for you to apologize over. Besides, my harlot of a sister is just as much to blame as Taylor. She's the one that came on to him first. Yeah, you're right. I still feel bad, though. By the way, have you gotten anything in the mail from them recently? Are you talking about the invitation to their wedding? Yeah. If you don't mind, could I ask whether you're planning to be there or not? Nah, I'm not going anywhere near that wedding. But Erica told me the other day that my attendance was mandatory and that she'd be preparing a seat for me whether I'm coming or not, so... I had a good feeling that's what you were going to say. I know this is an incredibly selfish thing to say, and I feel terrible for asking you to do this, but could you please come to the wedding? You want me to come? Why? It's not something that I can talk about just yet, but let me just say that there's something that I think you really ought to see. And don't worry about Taylor and Erica. I'll have a bodyguard on hand to keep them from getting anywhere near you. Wait, so does that mean that you're going to the wedding too? That's a surprise. I was under the impression that you had a falling out with your family, since you ended up taking my side during me and Taylor's divorce. Well, I wasn't going to at first, but my dad was firm in saying that the whole family was going to be there for Taylor's wedding. And I decided that as long as I'm being forced to attend, I may as well use the circumstances to my advantage. Okay, so what's this thing that you want me to see then? You're talking about it kind of cryptically. I know, you must think I'm acting pretty weird right now. But I promise you that I'll tell you about everything before the day of the wedding. Can you trust me? All right, Sarah, I trust you. I'll let Erica know that I'm coming to the wedding. Thank you so much, May. I promise you, you won't regret this.
Oh my God, you're actually coming? I don't believe it.
Weren't you the one who told me my attendance was, quote, mandatory? Besides, I'm only here out of familial duty. After this, I'm never talking to you again.
Whatever. I don't care as long as you're here. I've been waiting so long to see how jealous you are when you see how much better my wedding is than yours was.
Well, lucky you. By the way, as long as I have your attention, mind if I ask you something?
Make it quick. I gotta get ready.
Why did you steal Taylor away from me? I mean, I know that you've always had this dream of marrying a rich guy who'll take care of you, and sure, Taylor did inherit his family's company and is doing pretty well professionally, but he was my husband. Why would you do something like stealing the husband of your own sister?
Oh, that? Isn't it obvious? I wasn't gonna let you land yourself a rich guy before me. You had no right to do that, May.
What?
You remember what Mom and Dad said, don't you? They couldn't believe that you got married before me, even though I'm the cuter daughter. Even Taylor's parents think I'm a better match. You're in your 30s, I'm in my 20s. So I have a way better chance of giving them a grandchild to take over the family company than you. Got that? Taylor thinks I'm better than you. Our parents think I'm better than you. Taylor's parents think I'm better than you. He's mine. I win, you lose.
You're something else, Erica.
Yeah, I know. May, I'm so excited for you to come. Just wait until you see the custom-made Italian wedding dress, the diamond-studded platinum tiara, the caviar appetizers before the grade A5 Wagyu beef main course, the imported French wine. This wedding is filled to the brim with Taylor's love for me, more love than he ever gave you. I wonder how long it'll take until you cry. Maybe 30 seconds, if it even takes that long.
I know it's none of my business, but do you really think an unemployed person will be able to pay for a $100K wedding?
Huh? Who's unemployed? What are you talking about, May? Do you mean me? So what if I'm unemployed? Taylor makes more than enough for me to live the sweet life at home all day. I mean, he's got a maid and everything, so I won't even have to do any cleaning. I'll just be living the life you thought you would be living. And with that, my time's up. I gotta go get ready for the ceremony. I hope you put on plenty of waterproof makeup.
Good morning, May. Are you on your way to the wedding yet? Good morning, Erica. I'm just about to leave my house. Okay, cool. So, about the special surprise we talked about, it's going to happen during the reception dinner. Once you've seen it through to the end, make sure you blend into the crowd when everyone starts leaving the room, okay? Yeah, I got it. Be careful with all the preparation on your end too, Sarah.
No way! This can't be happening! Taylor's not the company president anymore? But why? It was his father's company. He inherited it.
Ah, are you talking about the whistleblower report that Sarah made to the company's board of directors? Yeah, that was really crazy, wasn't it? I particularly liked the part at the end. We hereby find that the company president, Taylor Grift, has abused his position as president and used company funds in order to finance his own extravagant lifestyle, and as such will be hereby relieved of his position effective immediately.
How could Sarah file a whistleblower report against her own brother? Who does that?
Think about it. He wasn't just satisfied with reporting your dates as business expenses by pretending he was meeting with clients. He even tried to siphon off funds little by little from various departments in order to pay for your $100K wedding. She only did what any decent employee would do when they found out that their boss was stealing the company's money. He embezzled a massive amount of money, Erica. There's not a businessman out there who wouldn't get demoted or worse if they got found out doing that.
Wait a minute. I'll admit, I didn't know he was using company money to pay for our stuff until now. But he controls the company, doesn't he? He was just using his own company's money to pay for his wedding. How is that a bad thing?
Do you know how businesses work? Even the president can't just up and use the company's money however he wants.
He can't?
Have you ever even heard the word embezzlement before? What Taylor did was illegal.
It was?
Yeah, and once the police got involved, the company had no choice but to remove him as president.
But why did she have to do this at our wedding? This was supposed to be the best day of my life, and now it's ruined.
I think you have much, much bigger problems to be concerned with right now, Erica.
Why is this happening to me? My life is over. Hey, May, you there? Tell me what your address is, okay? As soon as possible.
Why?
I've decided that I'm going to divorce Taylor and move in with you. I'm not interested in some broke loser. I only wanted to marry Taylor because he was a rich businessman. I mean, embezzlement? That's a serious crime, right? I could never stay with a man with such loose morals. Think about the impact he'd have on our children.
It's really ironic to hear that coming from you, Erica.
Stop mocking me. This is serious. Taylor's parents said that they won't pay the $100K for the wedding for us, and we're gonna have to pay for it all by ourselves. And our parents all of a sudden moved away without telling me where they were moving to, and they won't answer my calls. You're the only person left I can count on, May.
Tell me, Erica, what made you think that I was going to help you?
Well, you're my older sister, aren't you? An older sister has to look out for her younger sister. We're family.
Yeah, that would normally be the way things worked in a normal relationship between sisters in a normal family. But you can't possibly be under the impression that we're in a normal situation, right?
Okay, so I stole Taylor from you, but now I'm divorcing him.
Good for you, I guess. But that has nothing to do with me anymore. I'm not helping you.
But why not? Your own little sister is about to be thrown out onto the street. Don't you care about that at all?
Nope, not in the slightest.
Really?
This is going to be the last time I say this to you, so listen up. I have not forgiven you for what you did to me. I do not care one single tiny bit about what happens to you now.
May, please.
Even if you tracked down my new address and broke down crying on my doorstep and begging for help, I would give you none. In fact, if you ever come anywhere near my house, I'm calling the police.
You can't do this to me.
I can, and I will. Goodbye, forever. Hi there, May. How have you been? Sarah, it's great to hear from you. I'm doing great, thanks. I'm glad you messaged me. I haven't heard from you since the wedding and wondered what's happened in the meantime. I'm glad to hear you're doing all right. I'm doing pretty well myself. I'm actually in the UK right now. The UK? Really? Wow, this is just a guess, but did you do that in order to escape from your disaster of a family? Well, yeah, that was one of my major goals when I made the move. But I've been dating a guy who's a UK citizen for quite some time now. We got married a few months ago, so we decided to move here together. After the wedding, I sent a letter to all of my family telling them exactly why they're never going to see me or any of our children ever again. Packed up my things and left the country. Wow, that's awesome. I'm really happy for you. Thanks, May. How about you? How did things turn out for you after that? Just fine, thanks. No problems at all. I was worried that Taylor or Erica might try and find me for a little while, but from what I hear, they have bigger problems to worry about than me. Man, I sure would like to visit the UK. I bet it's fantastic over there. You interested in coming over? Well, yeah, who wouldn't be? But my company is thinking about having me sent to one of their branches over in Japan within the next year or so. They said that it would be a big promotion for me and would come with a commensurate pay raise, but it also sounds like once I commit to it, I'm gonna be stuck over there for at least the next 20 years. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about that recently. Still not sure what I'm gonna do. Now that I hear you talking about your overseas adventures, though, I don't know, maybe it won't be so bad. Well, I'm kind of on the opposite side of the world, but if there's anything you want to ask me about moving overseas, let me know, and I'll help however I can. Thanks, Sarah. You'll be the first person I ask. After a lot of thought and discussions with my company, I decided to accept their offer. I'm moving to Japan. Meanwhile, things aren't going so well for my sister. Taylor and his parents wouldn't consent to the divorce, so she's now stuck with working her butt off in order to pay the money Taylor stole from the company along with him. She's never had a job before in her life, so she's now stuck working awful shifts at a convenience store downtown. At this rate, they might have it paid back by the time they're 65. And don't worry about my parents. Karma came for them in the end, too. Turns out they received some of the money Taylor stole from his company, and they ran away to try and escape the bill that was about to come due. But they ended up getting in a huge car wreck on the way to their new house, leaving them both with permanent injuries. So now, my darling younger sister not only has to pay back the debt her husband owes while he's in prison, but also has to make enough in order to provide full-time help for my parents, since there's no way I'm going to give them a cent. So, honestly, I'm actually kind of glad that she took that scumbag Taylor off my hands for me. If she hadn't, then right now, I would be the one dealing with all of that. I really dodged a bullet, didn't I? Hey, Phil, are you there? I hate to tell you this, but I might not be able to make it home tonight.
Excuse me, you going to be late again? Or are you saying you're not coming home at all? You're staying overnight somewhere?
Yeah. Well, it's not decided yet, but the possibility of not coming home at all is pretty certain.
Really? Didn't your company put out some policy for this winter? It's supposed to get bad today, so unless you're on the night shift, all employees are supposed to leave early because there might be transportation delays or something. Wasn't that what they announced last week?
Yeah, that's what they said, all right, and I was all ready to leave when we got a call from one of our major clients. Apparently they encountered some serious system trouble on their main operating system. The weather is getting bad, but I can't just leave this and go home. We're talking about a major client, and we really have to handle it tonight.
Yeah, I suppose it comes with the job, huh? Being a system engineer can get pretty hectic. They're always turning to you when there's even a tiny glitch. Anyway, this isn't the first time. Remember the one last year?
How can I forget that? That was during the big hurricane, wasn't it? That was pretty bad. But this time at least I don't have to go on site. I can do this all remote, but the only problem is I have no idea when this can be solved. We tried several solutions, but it rejected them all. Really not sure what the problem is. Worst case scenario, it may take all night. If, by chance, we find a solution, I can get home, but if not, I may have to stay all night. I'm really sorry about this, Phil. I hope you understand.
No problem. Just don't overdo it or anything. Rest when you can.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. I hate to ask, but could you dump a cup of detergent in the washing machine and switch it on? It's ready to go.
Huh? You want me to do the laundry? You know the dryer's on the blink. Can't hang it out to dry in this weather. Why bother?
Yeah, but just having it washed and ready to dry will save me a lot of time later. I've got to do it any chance I get, or it will just pile up before you know it.
Right. Okay. No problem.
Oh, and could you throw in the kitchen towels and the apron in there too? I forgot to throw those in this morning.
Do we even have an apron? I can't remember using it.
Yeah, I bought it because I'm always on the run, as you know. Didn't want to dirty up my suit in the morning. It saved me the other morning, actually. Splashed egg all over it. I left it on the kitchen table. Forgot to drop it in the washing machine this morning. It's bright blue. I can't miss it.
Oh, okay. I'll check and see later on.
You're doing remote work all day today, right? No change in schedule? You don't have to meet a client later or anything, right?
Yep, that's right. As a matter of fact, I was in the middle of something just now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I thought you were on your lunch break. I'm sorry if I interrupted.
Don't worry about it. After I finish this up, I'm done for the day, so no problem.
Oh, okay, great. So you got the evening free then? All right then. I better be getting back to work. Gotta figure this thing out. If I'm lucky, I can get this done tonight. Wish me luck.
All right, good luck.
Hey, Phil, are you there? Please reply if you're seeing this. I thought you were home. You said you weren't going anywhere. It's a snowstorm out here. Where the hell did you run off to, for God's sake? Did you look outside? Have you taken a look in front of the house? Can't you see the snow piled up on the front walkway? Apparently snow slid off the roof. I got a call from Mrs. Barkley next door. You know the old lady next door, right? Well, she told me that there was a woman buried in the pile of snow. Must have approached the house and the snowpack slid off the roof or something. It was apparently a pretty large pack of snow. Luckily, Mrs. Barkley called the ambulance right away because nobody was home at our place. It took a while for the ambulance to get there, but she said she seemed okay as far as she could tell. As for me, I'm still at the office. We solved that system error problem, but all transportation has been delayed. I have no way to get home because of this snow. I have no idea where you are, so I'm just relaying all this information. Just so you're aware, I can't believe you're not home, Phil. Where'd you go, for crying out loud? Contact me as soon as you see this message. I just hope you're not in trouble or anything. To be honest, I'm worried sick. Phil, are you there? Where the hell are you? I can't seem to get a reply from you. Are you even seeing this? I'm not even sure if you got back home or not. I don't see an icon on screen indicating you're seeing this. Do you even have the thing turned on? Or is your battery just dead and you can't charge it? What's going on, Phil? You're scaring me. I need a reply ASAP. We need to talk about what to do about that woman who was injured in front of our house. She's at the hospital over in Richmond. We can't just ignore her. She was injured on our property. We could get sued. So contact me right away after you see this. You do realize that you're in a real precarious situation here. I hope you're aware of that, Phil.
What the hell is this, Melanie? What's with this message? Sending me crap like this? Is this some kind of gag you're pulling? What's up with this? Making up some far-fetched mumbo-jumbo about you being taken away by an ambulance? What's with this play act and exaggeration? This is not even funny at all, Melanie. And even involving Mrs. Barkley? She's just a little old lady, for God's sake. How could you get her involved in your little prank? It's like you're showcasing your frustration to everybody in this neighborhood. Aren't you in the least bit embarrassed by this dumb little charade? And where were you taken? You said Richmond. Are you talking about the big one on 5th Street? I don't really care, to be honest. I don't plan on visiting you there anyways. I mean, seriously, why would I after what you pulled?
Huh? Pardon me? What are you saying? I'm still at the company. I really can't get out of this right now. I'm not sure I can get home right now.
Hold on a second. Pardon me?
And what the hell are you blabbering about? Phil, I'm really busy right now. I thought I explained it all to you.
But you just messaged me about you getting buried in front of our house and that you were taken to the hospital. What was that all about then?
Phil, are you even reading that message properly? Did you just glance at it? Sure sounds like it.
Huh? Wait a second. You're telling me I read it all wrong? I'm pretty sure...
Just read it over one more time, would you please? And this time, slowly, so that you understand the entire situation.
What is this, Melanie? Some woman was hauled off to the hospital from our house? Are you serious? It says she got buried in snow in front of our house. Are you kidding me? What the hell happened?
Come on, Phil. You did that, didn't you?
Huh? Excuse me?
What was that crap you said to me? You read that message from me all wrong. You thought it was me that got buried in snow, and you didn't give a hoot about me. You weren't even going to visit me at the hospital. Are you serious, Phil? Your outburst is all on record, so there's no use refuting any of it. You meant what you said. There is no denying the fact.
Yeah, well, I just misinterpreted the message is all. I didn't mean it. I was upset. What can I say?
Oh, really? Sure seemed like you meant it. Like I said, the line messages are left on record. There is no disavowing it now. I could even print it out if I wanted to. You want me to do that? Oh, yeah, and I just got a call from the hospital. They were finally able to identify that woman that was taken there.
What?
They said her name was Deborah Sinclair. Ring any bells? I wonder why she was at our home. Delivering something, perhaps? Or maybe visiting someone?
Hold on a second. Did you just say Deborah Sinclair? I mean, just want to confirm, you know.
That's right. Sure sounds like it rings a bell with you, Phil. On the other hand, I have no recollection of such a person. Who is this Deborah Sinclair? You know her, right? Who is she, Phil?
I'm not sure. I thought it was you.
Yeah, and? You thought it was me, so what?
Forget what I said. It's nothing.
It's kind of late to be saying any of that anyways.
Pardon me?
Phil, do you know how much time has passed since this Deborah was taken to the hospital? It was a pretty frantic situation that unfolded over there. All the neighbors were out, the ambulance blaring down the street. A couple of cop cars even showed up. In such a situation, don't you think they did a little background check regarding the whole thing? The cops aren't stupid, you know.
What are you trying to say? Come right out and say it, Melanie. You got my undivided attention. Give it a go, then.
All right, if that's the way you want it, Phil. I know all about your little affair, Phil. That Deborah, she's your hot little babe, am I right?
Wait, what? How do you...
And you were seeing two separate girls. Really, Phil? I didn't realize you were such a low-life scumbag.
Oh, wait a second. Why do you even know all this?
Okay, you seem completely bewildered, so let me explain the whole thing to you, Phil. Once you found out I wasn't able to come home last night because of the system troubles we had at the client's place and the fact that the traffic was all disrupted due to the snow, you immediately contacted both Deborah and this other girl you're seeing. But apparently Deborah wasn't able to make it, so you decided to spend the day with your other lover. How am I doing so far, Phil? Did I miss anything? What I think you probably did was you decided to go and pick this girl up somewhere because of the snow. That left the house temporarily empty. But because you're so absent-minded and don't really think things through, or maybe it was you because you were so excited to see your lover. I don't know. Well, in your haste, you left the door unlocked.
Huh? I'm pretty sure
Then unexpectedly, Deborah decided to show up at the house. Was she there to surprise you? Or maybe she thought it over and decided she wanted to see her lover boy? Not sure. I guess when she arrived to find the front door open, she figured you were working inside and went in without calling out to you or bothering to knock. After all, you did tell her I wasn't coming home that night because of the snow. She went straight to the kitchen and put on my blue apron, the one I asked you to throw in the washing machine. Then she started cooking dinner for you, as if she were your wife.
Wait, let me explain, Melanie.
Then you came waltzing in with your other lover like nothing happened. You took one look in the kitchen and saw a woman standing there with a bright blue apron. You immediately thought it was me and thought your little love affair was exposed. In your panic-stricken way, you grabbed the woman, who you thought was me, from the kitchen and pushed her out the back kitchen door and onto the snow. You didn't even bother to check if the woman was me.
Are you telling me that woman I tossed out was Debbie?
Yep, that was Deborah. But you seem to prefer Debbie. You guys figured you couldn't very well have your fun and games with the wife at home, so you guys immediately left the house and locked the door on your way out. I have no idea where you guys went, but you were definitely with this other woman of yours, right?
Well, we were... Hey, what happened to Debbie?
I heard that when you tossed her out the door, she fell off the porch and broke her ankle. Apparently you told her, thinking it was me, of course, to stay in the snow to cool off or something to that effect. Debbie managed to make her way to the front door, but it was locked. When she tried to leave the house, she fell off the front porch and couldn't get up due to the severe pain in her ankle. It was really starting to snow about that time, and she gradually got covered in snow, and to make things worse, the snow piled on the roof slid off and buried her even further. She tried calling out, but snow really insulates sound. Did you know that? As you probably know, when it snows like that, there are hardly any people walking around in that kind of weather. It was just by chance that Mrs. Barkley was able to find her. It seems her dog ran off and she was out looking for him and found him snuffing around in the pile of snow in our front yard. I don't want to think about what would have happened to her if she hadn't found her. Immediately, she called the ambulance and was taken away to the hospital. A neighbor also called the police because nobody recognized the girl as anybody from the neighborhood.
Oh, and how is she? I mean, is Debbie okay?
I was told it wasn't anything serious, just a broken ankle. She's recovering just fine, apparently.
Which hospital is she at? Where'd they take her?
Why do you want to know? Are you intending to go visit her? Visit your lover?
Huh? Well, I was just...
To be honest, I'm not at all concerned about your lover. I don't even know her. But to give out information about where she is hospitalized to the very person responsible for putting her in the hospital to begin with, that makes zero sense. So I'm sorry, Phil, I have no intention of telling you anything. Rather than worrying about your sweetheart, maybe you should start worrying about yourself.
Me? Why should I worry?
As I mentioned earlier, a neighbor contacted the police, and the whole thing kind of got a little more complicated.
What do you mean? How complicated?
Did you really think the police would just let this go? Don't you think they would have investigated this? A woman was injured, you know?
But the police... Why involve the police?
They cleared me of any wrongdoing, but I don't know what the situation is right now. I think they're still continuing the investigation.
Wait a second. What are you saying? That I may be in trouble? What's going to happen to me? What do they want from me?
Don't ask me.
How could you say that, Melanie? I'm your husband. How could you be so cold and unconcerned? This could be serious, you know? You're being way too unsympathetic, Melanie. Where's your compassion?
Am I hearing you right, Phil? You're asking me to give you compassion? Seriously? The guy who has 2 lovers? The guy who's been cheating on me for God knows how long?
Yeah, well, it doesn't change the fact that you're my wife and you have a responsibility, a duty to your husband.
Sorry, Phil, that's not going to cut it. Just so you're aware, I'm already talking to my lawyer about a divorce, so...
Huh? Wait, a divorce? You want to get divorced? And why talk to a lawyer? You're really blowing this thing way out of proportion, Melanie.
You don't seem to get the point, Phil. Like I said, you're the one with 2 lovers. You're the one that's been two-timing me. I don't want to hear any crap from a jerk who's been screwing around behind my back. You got that, buddy?
Yeah, well, it was just a fling. You're my main, my true love, Melanie. You know, I was just stressed out with work and all.
Pardon me, I'm your main, huh? Well, that makes me feel so special, thanks.
Yeah, what I mean is, I picked you as my wife. You were the best of...
Best of the lot? Like selecting a used car or something? When are you going to get tired of that and get a new one? And by selecting, are you saying you were already going out with the other two girls even before we were married? Maybe there was more than two.
No, of course not.
Sure sounds like it, Phil. You picked me out of the three? I wonder why. Is it because I make more than them?
No, what I'm saying is...
I think I'm officially getting pissed off. Before I really go over the edge, maybe it would be better if we continued further discussions regarding this issue through our lawyers.
Like I said, this whole thing about lawyers is going way too far. Let's just talk face to face. I'm sure we can work it out between us.
This coming from the guy that's been screwing around behind my back? My pissed off meter just went up a notch. I wouldn't push it any further, mister.
But I was just trying to...
Please don't try anymore. You'll really regret it, Phil. I would advise against it.
Huh?
Okay, Phil, that's all I've got to say. Goodbye. Have a good life, Phil. I really was about to explode during that line exchange. Glad I cut it off in time. I talked to my lawyer after that and started the process of getting all the papers ready for the divorce. I'm so glad the lawyer will take care of the rest and not have to see Phil any more than I have to. I'm scared I may even give him a fat lip. About a week or so later, my lawyer was able to collect all of the evidence of his infidelity and came up with the amount we would be demanding from him. I was surprised that he got it all done in such a short period of time. The house we were living in was in Phil's name, so I was the one that had to move out. As for Phil, the two women eventually learned that he was secretly seeing the both of them. When they found out, you can imagine the furious reaction that must have ensued. Deborah, the girl that got thrown out of the house and ended up in the hospital, is apparently pressing charges against him. The other woman is also suing him for damages. Apparently, he promised her he would get divorced and marry her. Phil kept calling me and sending long, desperate messages online, so I finally changed my phone number and line address. I really can't thank my lawyer enough for moving quickly with all this before it got completely out of control.